Try not to become a person of success, but rather a person of value. What a sad era when it's easier to smash an atom than to break a prejudice. You can't blame gravity for people falling in love. If you want to lead a happy life, tie it to a goal, not to people or things. There are only two things that are infinite: the universe and stupidity, although I'm not sure about the universe. Einstein once wrote to Charlie Chaplin, "Your film, The Gold Rush, is understood by the whole world, and you will surely become a great man." To which Chaplin replied, "I admire you even more. No one in the world understands your theory of relativity, and yet you have become a great man." I believe in God, who reveals himself in the orderly harmony of all that exists, not in a God who concerns himself with the fate and actions of individual humans. All people lie, but that's not scary. No one listens to each other anyway. The world cannot be held by force. It can only be achieved through understanding. I am enough of an artist to draw freely upon my imagination. Imagination is more important than knowledge. Knowledge is limited. Imagination encircles the world. If the theory of relativity is proven true, the Germans will call me a German, and the French will say I'm a citizen of the world. But if my theory is disproven, the French will say I'm a German, and the Germans will call me a Jew. The harmony of natural law reveals a mind so superior that compared to it, all systematic thinking and acting of human beings is an utterly insignificant reflection. My religion consists of a humble admiration of the illimitable intelligence that manifests itself in the smallest details of the vast cosmos, which we can only partly comprehend. This deeply emotional conviction of the logical order that governs the universe is my idea of God. If you live as though nothing in this world is a miracle, you can do whatever you want, and nothing will stand in your way. If you live as though everything is a miracle, you will be able to enjoy even the smallest manifestations of beauty in this world. If you live both ways simultaneously, your life will be both happy and productive. Our position on Earth is truly remarkable. Everyone appears here for a brief moment without a clear purpose, although some manage to invent one. But from the perspective of ordinary life, one thing is clear. We live for other people, and most of all, for those whose smiles and well-being our own happiness depends on. We are all equally wise or equally foolish. The world is a madhouse. Fame means everything. I do not know with what weapons World War III will be fought, but World War IV will be fought with sticks and stones. If a cluttered desk is a sign of a cluttered mind, what then does an empty desk signify? Through coincidences, God remains anonymous. We are all geniuses, but if you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, it will live its whole life believing it is stupid. A keen journalist holding a notebook and pencil asked Einstein, "Do you have a notebook where you write down your great thoughts?" Einstein looked at him and said, "Young man, truly great thoughts come to mind so rarely that it's easy to remember them." Education is what remains after one has forgotten everything learned in school. I was born, and that's all that's needed for happiness. Theory is when everything is known, but nothing works. Practice is when everything works, but no one knows why. We combine theory and practice. Nothing works, and no one knows why. The mind, once stretched by a new idea, never returns to its original dimensions. Order is needed only by a fool. A genius rules over chaos. Strive not to be a success, but rather to make your life meaningful. It is better to believe than not, because with faith, everything becomes possible. In the midst of chaos, find simplicity. In the midst of discord, find harmony. In the midst of difficulty, find opportunity. You cannot prevent war by preparing for it. The goal of education should always be the training of a harmonious personality, not a specialist. There is only one path to greatness, and that path goes through suffering. It is madness to continue doing the same thing and expect different results. Our beliefs and assumptions are often traps that limit our potential. The only knowledge that can advance us on the path of development is the knowledge that imagination is capable of anything. And everything that is possible in our imagination is possible in reality. I do not teach my students. I only create the conditions in which they can learn themselves. To become a flawless member of a pack of wolves, one must first become a wolf. The only thing that interferes with my learning is my education. Imagination is the most important thing. It reflects what we attract into our lives. There are only two ways to live your life. One is as though nothing is a miracle. The other is as though everything is a miracle. I've learned to see death as an old debt that must eventually be paid. It's not that I'm so smart, it's just that I stay with problems longer. Information is not knowledge. The true source of knowledge is experience. If at first the idea is not absurd, then there is no hope for it. A person starts to live only when he manages to surpass himself. If people are good only because they fear punishment and hope for reward, then we are truly a sorry lot. Religion, art, and science are branches of the same tree. A friend is someone who knows the melody of your heart and can sing it back to you when you have forgotten it. Observe nature carefully, and you will understand everything much better. The only rational way to educate people is to lead them by example. Only those who attempt the absurd can achieve the impossible. To win, you must first play. In the heart of every difficulty lies opportunity. I know quite well that I have no special talent. Curiosity, obsession, and dogged endurance, combined with self-criticism, have led me to my ideas. One day you stop learning and you begin to die. How much we know and how little we understand. No goal is high enough to justify undignified means for its achievement. If you want your children to be intelligent, read them fairy tales. If you want them to be more intelligent, read them even more fairy tales. The question that stumps me, am I crazy or is it everyone else? Everyone from childhood knows that something or other is impossible. But there's always an ignorant one who doesn't know this. It is they who make the discovery. Imagination is more important than knowledge. Knowledge is limited, whereas imagination embraces the entire world, stimulating progress and giving birth to evolution. I don't want to be a successful person. I want to be someone who matters. Do you think everything is that simple? Yes, everything is simple, but not that simple. Imagination is everything. It is the preview of life's coming attractions. I live in that solitude which is painful in youth, but delicious in maturity. The difference between genius and stupidity is that genius has its limits. A happy man is too satisfied with the present to dwell too much on the future. Learn from yesterday, live for today, hope for tomorrow. The important thing is not to stop questioning. Never lose the holy curiosity. Great spirits have always encountered violent opposition from mediocre minds. Anyone who has never made a mistake has never tried anything new. The only reason for time is so that everything doesn't happen at once. When a normal person looks for a needle in a haystack and eventually finds it, they stop. A genius, unlike a normal person, will try to find all possible needles. Outstanding individuals are formed not through fine speeches, but through their own labor and its results. The search for truth is more valuable than its possession. There is no space and time, only their unity. Science is not, and never will be, a finished book. Every significant success brings new questions. Every development reveals ever new and deeper difficulties over time. I'm too crazy not to be a genius. The true value of a human being is determined by how much they have freed themselves from selfishness and by what means they have done so. Intelligent people try to solve problems. Brilliant people try not to create them. Play is one of the most effective ways to simplify your life. It's what we did as children, but we forget to play as adults. Reality is merely an illusion, albeit a very persistent one. There is a vast gap between what a person is and what others think of them, or at least say aloud. We must not lose faith in humanity, as we ourselves are human. If I learned that I would die in 3 hours, it wouldn't make a big impression on me. I'd think about how to best use those 3 hours. Those who never fall for deception do not know what happiness is. A person can find meaning in life only by dedicating themselves to society. I never think about the future. It comes soon enough. I have no special talents. I'm only passionately curious. To break through a wall with your forehead, you need either a great running start or many foreheads. You must learn the rules of the game, and then you will play better than anyone else. Opportunity hides within difficulties. There are only two infinite things, the universe and stupidity. Though I'm not sure about the universe. A person always enjoys doing what they have a talent for. Problems cannot be solved at the same level of thinking that created them. Make things as simple as possible, but not simpler. A single experiment can prove me wrong. Life is like riding a bicycle. To keep your balance, you must keep moving. The world is dangerous not because some people do evil, but because others see it and do nothing. If you can't explain something to a 6-year-old, you don't understand it yourself.